Iyabo is a very devilish person. She has been doing it for a long time. I have a history of her, the Port Harcourt prison case, and how she obstructed me from coming home from the prison. So I would never forgive her for that. She came out and apologized to me in 2019 because the letter that sent me to prison was sent into her NGO's phone to destroy her, and they used her PA. However, with all that being said, I would not know that Iyabo was the one that was actually getting paid to keep me in prison if Moad did not die. It was Moad's death that made her start attacking me in her WhatsApp chat and everything. There is a story that's shocking that I want to tell Nigerians. I already told it on Facebook. I caught Iyabo trying to poison people's food and drinks at Toyin Lawani's wedding. You know, one of those times that you're doing something somewhere, it could be in your house, it could be in your office, but you saw somebody doing something and your eyes locked together. Like, what are you doing? Iyabo walks around with syringes, just like you see in the skits and the movies. It's real. This was a wedding reception that had a lot of celebrities. Almost everybody was there. And you know that Messi Aigbe and Tony Abraham had some kind of fight in 2017, and that was ended on that day. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you stuff you have never heard before. Because some things you can't solve them until later years. Like I said, all the time I thought I was being held in prison by the shorties and all the other people, the court register, it was Iyabo that was keeping me in prison because Kemi Okoko was paying her not to come to court. Kemi has died now. He died in a disgraceful botched plastic surgery for liposuction. I've told that story over and over again. However, when I saw Iyabo trying to put something in drinks and food at one particular table, our eyes locked. And it just shocked me. It was that very same day that I wanted to get her phone number before that incident. And my son and I were together, and I said, hand over the phone to my son. Give me your digits. My son held her phone and saw Gist Lover open right there on Instagram. Because the way my son's brain was programmed that day, as soon as she gave the phone to my son, what my son is supposed to press is the phone app and enter our number. But he entered his hand on Instagram and Gist Lover was right open. I saw it, my son saw it. These are things that you can't prove because you just see it in an instant. Later on during the day, Iyabo was walking around and I caught her trying to put something in someone's drink. I don't know who was at that table or who was sitting there, but I saw her and she saw me. Iyabo, you can't deny it. Anyway, I went back to my table. When I went back to my table, I was actually eating a very heavy meal. And when I was eating that meal, Eniola Badmus came up to me. She walked up to my table, greeted me, and said, Auntie Kemi, let's take a selfie. They had served me this food and a can of malt Guinness. And so I was almost 80% finishing the food. Because of what I saw Iyabo doing, okay, I stood up and I took my malt off the table because I was in the point where I have to drink now. I went next to Eniola and I quickly snapped a photograph with her. I threw the malt in my bag and my bag was slightly open. So I took the selfie with Eniola. She took it. And I couldn't really go back to my food again because now it was exposed. But my malt was in my bag. Eventually, Denrele Edun came to me, made a few jokes. My son and I now walked away with Denrele to where the bar was. And we met Blessing CEO there and everybody was drinking and eating there. But that malt remained in my bag. Somewhere between the time Eniola Badmus and I were taking that selfie, people were taking selfies. No, people were taking pictures of us doing the selfie. And the malt showed and somebody circled it and it went on the internet that I stole malt at a party. As from that moment when that incident happened, that I stole malt at the party, the very next day, This is a wedding reception on Saturday. On Monday, Gislover had it. Kemi at Malt. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you here? And who's Gislover? Iyabo and Tonto. Iyabo started calling me Ajimalt, Ajimalt. I don't know whether that will stop me from talking about what I saw. But it's now 5 years later, just about 5 years, 4 years later. I'm telling you now, she was there trying to poison her colleagues. She was there with a syringe trying to put stuff into somebody's drink, just like you see in the movies. You have to be very careful around Iyabo. You have to be very careful. She came to Moad's house immediately after Moad was bleeding from that cut from the railing. She was there. She asked them to burn the blanket. She formed a group right away. GMW Dre was there even before the father. Iyabo knows a lot. She even told us that Moad died in the house. And then Wunmi went and contradicted herself on television that he died in the hospital. I mean, it's like this woman is a snake. And the whole nickname of the snake, Shekpeteri, that her nemesis calls her, Lizzie Anjorin, it's true. Iyabo tried to harm somebody that day. You have to be very careful eating and drinking next time. So that's why since then, everybody calls me Aji Malt. How can I steal malts at a party? It was my malts. I will serve the malts. But after seeing Iyabo trying to taint people's food and drinks, I carried my malts with me. Iyabo, my eyes locked your eyes. Ojula fi wora wa. Ngbati mo ka emo. Mo ka emo just like a movie. To fair poisoning. Ikanye, ika. Nye, Iyabo, ikanye. Come out and tell people. Ikanye, iru wo yo le payan. Okuti ba won pa Moad. Kí ló tún kù? Thanks for watching.